Hello everyone, happy October 24th, almost at the end of the month. It's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome all of you who are tuning in today or watching the recording or the YouTube post. So we have 1 week to go until Halloween, and Halloween has always been a favorite in our house. Our daughter especially loves Halloween, but now she's married and has just decorated her own place to the nines. So we do miss seeing a lot of it, but we're still going to do our own little part too. So today I thought we would take a look at this Bewitching stamp set. Now it is in our mini catalog on page 57. It's right here. Now it did come as a bundle with the Witch Hat Builder Punch, which looks like this. Now, unfortunately, the punch is now sold out and is no longer available, but the stamp set is. And for the card that we're going to do today, we really don't need the punch. We are going to use it, but you can make the card we're going to do just with some fussy cutting instead of punching. So just to let you know, the stamp set is still available. And I did get an idea from Rosemary Coleman, who is a fantastic demonstrator in Calgary. I did a swap with her in August, and I got this idea from her, and I'm doing a card very similar to hers, or almost similar, but I have switched it up a bit. So we are going to use this stamp set, and we are going to do a fair bit of stamping. Okay, so let's start with that actually. So the card we're going to make, maybe I should show you that first, is this one. And it is a fun fold like this. It's very, very simple fun fold, and I'll show you how we do that after our stamping is done. So this is the sort of template that Rosemary had done, and I switched up the colors, I switched up the layers a little bit. So let's give this a go and see how it turns out. Okay, so we are going to do our stamping first. So I cut a piece of basic white at 4 1/4 by 3, and I will post all of these measurements. So we're going to start by stamping the witch's feet and legs. So we're going to do that in our Memento Black. And just ink that up. Now I did re-ink this recently, but we'll see how this turns out here. Okay, so I'm going to put this a little bit more towards the bottom because we still need some room for her hat. And I do still want to do our greetings. So let me see. Let's try and excuse my head if it's in the way. Let's try putting it about here. Ha, excellent. Okay, so there are her legs and her hat, or sorry, her legs and feet. And then we are going to stamp her hat. So for that, I'm just going to bring out a scrap piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp this hat image. Now there are 2 others you can select from the stamp set, the solid colored one or the one with the spider web. So you have a choice. We're going to do this polka dot one because it looks quite fun. And we're going to do it in pumpkin pie. So we'll just ink that up too, and this is what we're going to punch out. But like I mentioned earlier, you can just fussy cut. It's a really quick cut to just cut out her hat. But let's just stamp this here, okay, in pumpkin pie. And then I want to do some coloring, and I want to also fill in her little hat band here. So on my sample, I colored in the polka dots with Highland Heather with my blend, but this one, I think I'm just going to do it black, and I want to see how that goes. So I have my basic black blend, the dark one, and you could just even leave these polka dots white if you wanted. There's no harm in doing that. Or any other color that you want if you would like to color the polka dots. But I'm just gonna, for this one, kind of stick to the more traditional black and orange. And our weather has been so great here. I'm really, really hoping it will last until Halloween, because we have certainly had Halloweens in the past which have been very cold and snowy and just not much fun for the trick-or-treaters out there, but we're hoping that it won't be too bad this year. Okay, so we've done that. So now I'm going to punch this out with our Witch's Builder punch. So I'm just going to slide that in, and the beauty of it is that it does line up, but I am just going to cut off this corner. I think it will make it a little bit easier to maneuver the punch. Sometimes that corner can get in the way a little bit. Okay, so I like to punch this upside down so I can see where I'm punching. And I'm just going to line that up as best I think I can without cutting too much off here. Let's give this a go. Okay, so I'll just press. Got a lot of other little pieces flying out, but that's okay. Just push those aside. So there is our hat. Now I could have just trimmed this a little bit more here. I guess I got a little bit close to that one side. So let's just give this a little trim. Just my own preference. You don't have to, but there. That looks a little bit more even on the sides. Okay, so now I want to fill the band here, the sash on her hat. Now you could do that in a lot of different ways. You could just take a blend and color that in. You could, if you have the punch, you could just cut out this little piece here out of whatever cardstock or glimmer paper you might have and just adhere that. I'm going to try using this new washi tape that we have. So this is the glitter, what is it called? Glitter Washi 4-pack. So you get 4 rolls of washi tape. So the Highland Heather, the Granny Apple Green, Pumpkin Pie, and Basic Black. And so you can just use this to decorate so many different things or on a card front. So I'm going to do the black. And the way I thought this would work the best is because there's a little bit of a curve in this hairband here and the washi is straight. What I decided to do was just rip off 2 pieces of this, about the length of her sash there. I'm just going to put it on this scrap white that I just used to punch out her hat. I'm just going to put these side by side, and this is just because I don't have black glimmer paper right here. Otherwise, you could certainly just use black glimmer paper. And then I'm just going to use the punch, and I'm just going to line that up and give it a punch. And that is the piece that I will use right here because it will line up perfectly and it's got that little bit of a bow arc there. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on with some adhesive just to give her hat a little bit of bling because we all like a little bit. For our dear witch, she's a good witch, of course. And there will be our hat. So then this will be on top. Now I am just going to color her stockings and her boot buckles here. So the buckles I'm just going to do in Pumpkin Pie to match her hat. So let's just straight little coloring here, hardly any. Okay, so there's our buckle. And then I'm going to do her stockings in Granny Apple Green. Light or dark? I've got the light blend. Dark is fine as well. So witches don't always coordinate. Some do. But we'll give her some fun greens and black stockings. Okay. So then before I put her hat on, I'm just going to fill in the background like I did here with some stars. So in the stamp set, you have some stars. Right here, little stars, and I'm going to do those in our Highland Heather, just sort of fill in the background, and I'm also going to do the little boo in that, and I'll show you that in 1 second. So let's just stamp a few. You don't have to go a lot under her where her hat will be because of course you won't see them, and I do want to leave room for my boo here. So even if these stars peek out underneath her hat, that's fine. Put a couple there. Okay. And then I'm going to do the lettering. So as you can see, there's no greeting in this stamp set. There is, let me just pull this out for you just to show you, there is another Halloween set in here, this one, the Scary Cute, and that does have some really cute greetings. So you could always just use one of those if you happen to have that stamp set, or if you have an old Halloween stamp set kicking around. But what I thought I would do is use the letters in the Alphabest stamp set. This is a great set to personalize cards or gift tags or anything you would like. If it's a specific recipient, you can do their name in letters. They've got some other images and symbols in here. And this also coordinates with a punch. So you could punch the letter or stamp the letter and then punch it out and make like a little banner. So it's a very versatile set. And this is in our large catalog, in case you're wondering where that is. So the letters I pulled out are the B-O-O. We're going to do boo. And I'm going to do them also in the Highland Heather. So because we only have one O, I mounted the B and the O together. And then we're just going to switch it up and add the rest of the word. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is dark enough. All right, so we'll do the B-O there. And then I'm just going to clean this off. And then I'm going to take the B off because we don't need it, but I am going to add the exclamation mark beside the first O because we only have one O. So let's put that side by side. I'll mount that on the block, okay? And then we'll try to sort of get this lined up not too bad. It might not be perfect spacing, but it'll be fine. And there we go. Boo! And you could just, you could even do treat or, anything else you would like. You can certainly play with that alphabet set quite a bit. Alphabest, I should say, is what it's called. All right, so then what do we have left? I think now we can probably add our hat. So we're just going to add it here, and then we're going to stamp a spider hanging from her hat. Now this hat you could just put on flat. I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals just because I think that looks cute. So put on about 4, and I might actually mail this to my daughter. I'm going to see because she loves Halloween so much. She might enjoy getting this in the mail. Because she's so excited about it, and probably a huge number of kids that she's going to get in her neighborhood because it's a really new neighborhood in our city, and she's just probably going to be sitting out on that porch the whole night handing out treats, but she's so looking forward to it. Okay, so you could put your hat straight. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle while still showing her stockings there. And then we can stamp our spider. Now, I did put the stars on one side, so let me get rid of those. Just clean those off. And then I can see my spider. There he is. We're going to do him in the memento. And we're going to do him just sort of underneath this hat. So I'm just going to lift this up a smidge if I can. If not, it's no biggie. You can just kind of work around it and stamp him right there. So he's sort of dangling from her hat. I think that's just super cute. All right, so I think that's all we need for this part. I'm just going to close my ink so I don't get my hands in it. So now we can put our card together. So the first thing we have to do is create that fold. So I'm using as our base a piece of the Highland Heather, and it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, our usual card base. And then we're just going to score in 2 places. So super simple. Let me just move this out of the way so you can see, hopefully. So then I'm going to score at 4 1/4, which will be our center point. 4 1/4, not 4.5. All right, so score our center. And then on this half, we want to score this in half. And so that will be 2 1/8. Okay, 2 1/8. And that is all we're going to need to create our fold. So what you're going to do is fold your card in half on that center score line. And here's our other score line. So you're just going to fold this the opposite way and just give that a really good burnish with your bone folder. And that is what makes your super fun fold. Really the simplest of all, I'm sure. Okay, so really easy. And now we can assemble our layers. So I have our white, I have a piece of basic black, and a piece of granny apple green. So let's put these together, and then we can finish off our card. So we'll put the black on top of the granny apple green. And then we'll put this witch layer on top of the black. Like so. Okay. And then we can attach this on our base. Now, just a word of warning. You don't want to put adhesive all over because, of course, if you do that, it's going to stick here and you're not going to be able to open your card. So you just want to make sure you have adhesive on this left side. So I'm just going to put 2 strips down there, and you're going to center this on the front, just eyeballing it like so, and then your card should open like so, and there you go. So we have 2 slightly different versions, one with purple polka dots and the other with the black. Okay, now this was Rosemarie's sample. This was her swap, so it's very similar. The only thing is she used different color bases, and I added an extra layer of the cardstock here and just switched up the colors, and she used some different glimmer paper here, and but otherwise it's very, very similar. Okay, not as many stars. I think I kind of went overboard on the stars, but it's okay. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that Halloween project today. Maybe there's someone who loves Halloween in your family as much as our daughter and ours. I do have a host code. I'll just grab that. So I do have a host code for October. PHHWRWZU. If you're interested in placing an online order, it can be done on my website, christineludwig.stampinup.net. And I'd also love it if you would like me on Facebook, Pinterest, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, all known as Christine Stamping Spot. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm hoping to maybe do some fun Halloween packaging project next week, just for those last minute little Halloween treats we want to pack up for our little trick-or-treaters. And so I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.